Okay, I've been MIA for a little minute. I had a family crisis. I had two deaths in my family, 4 months within each other. Uh, I didn't have time to grieve from the first one, and then the second one hit our family, and it was just hard. I just needed some time. I just needed some time. But I'm back now. And today I want to talk about Azriel Clary's inappropriate behavior on the internet. I've been seeing a lot of stuff. Um, let's start with the pictures and her interview with the Sun. Now, Team Truth claims that one of the pictures that has been shared on the internet was of her sitting in R. Kelly's lap. And Team Truth claims that she had on a school uniform and barrettes. Lies. That girl had a bun in the top of her hair with some hair hanging in the back. She had a purple sweater and a scarf on. No school uniform. I wear the same hairstyle every day. My hair is natural, and I'm almost 50 years old. I put barrettes in my 8-year-old daughter's hair and beads quite often. There were no barrettes in Azriel's hair on that picture. They lied, and they exaggerated the lie when they mentioned that she had on a school uniform. She did not have on a school uniform. I get my daughter up every day and get her ready for school. School uniforms are required. That girl did not have on a school uniform. I don't understand why they have to lie and sensationalize the lies. If the truth is what it is what it is. There would be no room for lies. Azriel Clary daddy claims that she's not a clout chaser. I beg to differ. She came out begging for followers and subscribers on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. In her interview with The Sun, Azriel Clary mentioned that R. Kelly had 3 times 50 women in every state that he goes to. Do the math, people. What is her STD status behind this statement? She telling everything else, but leaving important details out. Ain't no way he had sex with all those women in all those different states and don't have an STD, and she don't have one either. She been with him, or was with him, almost 5 years. She has yet to speak about her STD status. According to the Savages, Jocelyn bumped up. Faith Rogers says she bumped up. Jerronda Page says she bumped up. How did it skip her? And she was laying up with him almost 5 years. I also noticed how Team Truth likes to call her a child. Let's be clear. She's not a child. She's a young lady. And she's been a young lady for a while now. According to the law, she's legal. They also like to talk about she was 17 years old when she met R. Kelly. She was 17 years old when she began to be sexually active with R. Kelly. So to that I say this. How did she meet R. Kelly? You see, from my understanding, their daughter, Azriel Clary, had tried to commit suicide. Shortly after that, they took her to a R. Kelly concert at 17 years old. They put her on the stage with him. So my thing is this. If she's a child, why was she at an R. Kelly concert? Why did they take their daughter to an R. Kelly concert? R. Kelly music, for the most part, is X-rated. So that's child abuse. They want to blame R. Kelly, but it's them. The blame lies within the parents. They took their daughter to him, to his concert, a X-rated concert, and left her with him shortly after that. They said that they didn't sign their daughter over. Yes, they did. The note is all over social media. They signed her over to strangers. Valerie, Peyton, Davis, something like that. But I know the young lady's first name was Valerie. They signed their daughter over to a stranger. And they don't want to accept accountability for that. That's child abuse. And I also noticed that people want to say that Azriel has mental issues. My guess is because she tried to kill herself, right? Again, that's child abuse. Instead of taking your daughter to see a therapist and keeping her home close to you in eyesight, they took her to someone's concert that has had previous charges of sexual misconduct with minors. Not only that, they took it a little bit further. They signed a note for her to take flights with him from state to state. But they always talk about she's a child. Y'all got to make this make sense to me, because right now it's not making sense to me at all. Then the kidnapping incident happens, right? With the older sister, Azriel Clary's older sister. The parents left the older sister with Azriel to babysit Azriel. They in the hotel room. She wake up, Azriel gone. She go looking for Azriel and find Azriel with R. Kelly. And then all hell breaks loose, according to them. She pulling Azriel, R. Kelly pulling Azriel. They playing tug of war with Azriel. Then she's kidnapped by R. Kelly's goon. She's taken off, put in a trunk, and dropped off in Zuzuland. She calls her parents. They fly out and talk to R. Kelly and his staff and still end up leaving her there. Make it make sense. Azriel Clary loves to scream, queen this, queen that, king this, king that, young queen, young king. Child, I ain't never seen Queen Elizabeth half naked or butt naked down to the social media. Teen Truth also wants to paint a picture that they want to save Joycelyn Savage. Lies. They don't give a fuck about Joycelyn. Azriel don't care about Joycelyn. She don't give a fuck if Joycelyn live, die, eat shit, or drink piss. Think about it, people. She tried to fuck Joycelyn out of her visitations with R. Kelly way before the fight. We found that out with the phone calls that they leaked. The illegal phone calls between her and R. Kelly. since he's been incarcerated. What I think about the Don Russell interviews. Basically, what I got out of all the interviews that Don Russell has did on social media is R. Kelly made one of the biggest mistakes an up-and-coming artist could ever make, and that was signing over his masters. He basically put his entire career in other people's hands to get rich. What I think about the bus driver interview. Oh my God. Lord have mercy. He's trifling. Ain't no way in hell I'm throwing away a bag of shit from an able-bodied person who's able to get up and go to the restroom and relieve themselves. If it ain't no baby, a physically disabled person, or elderly person, ain't no way I'm throwing away a bag of shit. He's just as nasty as them bitches that was shitting in them bags. Period. In her interview with the Sun, Azriel Clary also mentioned that R. Kelly beat her with a shoe. She was bruised from head to toe. Girl, if you was bruised from head to toe, you stayed. You still stayed there. Because what comes to my mind when these people talk about he was holding them hostage and he was abusing them and they stayed so many years, in my mind, I think of the Cleveland abduction of Amanda Berry, Gina DeJesus, and Michelle Knight. These were young ladies that were actually held captive, physically abused, and mentally abused for years, held against their will for years, with locks on the doors, chained up against radiators. They was chained up against the wall. They was chained up against each other. That's what comes to my mind. They were moving from condo to condo, mansion to mansion with R. Kelly at free will. Wasn't no locks on no doors. Wasn't no chains on them. The bus driver told y'all they could leave whenever they wanted to. They are not victims. R. Kelly first trial was real to me. This here is a bunch of bullshit. And it is what it is. And I'm just going to call it as I see it. I don't see any victims. I see willing participants that were chasing a bag by any means necessary. And they are still chasing the bag by any means necessary. And if that means they got to go against R. Kelly and have him locked up on some lies for 500 years, that's what they gonna do. But my thing is, what happens after the trial? If her claim to fame is her music, why hasn't she produced any music or music videos? And truth be told, I'm going to call it like I see it, because I've been seeing her online. Azriel Clary ain't got a hit song in her throat. All she do is come down to the social media half naked and with a smart ass mouth inside of a paragraph. What she did when she did what she did with the R.I.P. Kobe Bryant was very inappropriate and disrespectful. She's a attention whore. She did that for attention. She don't care about Kobe Bryant, because if she did, she would have handled that a different way. She would have made a total different post dedicated to him, his daughter, and the other people that died in the plane crash. Period. A lot of people don't have the courage to do it. But see, my thing is, stop defending lies. If you actually care about a person, you should care about a person enough to tell them to stop. You should care about a person enough to tell them when they on some fuck shit. You should be able to call a person out because you care enough to. It's not about bashing or victim shaming. None of those victims in the Cleveland abduction and any other abduction that has went worldwide has never came down to social media half naked or wearing very revealing clothes. Every time you see her, she's showing her water balloons, her water bags. She got them poked out. She want everybody to see her implants. When did a victim have some time to go get some implants anyway? And about those implants, when it first came down to the internet, her daddy was so against it. My daughter could have died on that table. She messed up her body. He abused her. He trying to turn her into this and that. Then he turned around and said, I knew that my daughter was going to get some implants eventually because she was insecure about her breasts. Make this make sense, y'all. These people are full of it. And for the people that can't see it, I don't know what to tell y'all because it's a lot of people that is able to see straight through bullshit. And if you're not able to see that these people are full of shit just chasing a bag, then that's on you. I can't make it make sense to y'all. It's just like when people say that they stay in abusive relationships for the kids. That don't make sense to me either because you're allowing your kids to be abused. Overall, that's child abuse on you as well. I don't care what nobody say. Those parents, the Savages and the Clarys, abuse their kids for the love of money. They neglected their children's well-being for the love of money, for fortune and fame. They constantly talking about they winning and people hating on them. No, people are not hating on you. People are calling y'all out on y'all fuck shit. And how you deal with it, that's on you. But there are no winners in this R. Kelly scandal. R. Kelly doesn't win. The parents most definitely don't win. The accusers don't win. And the enablers don't win. And I'm going to tell y'all something else that I noticed that Azriel said in her interview with The Sun. She stated that she has also seen him abuse other women. And she has seen him put people in positions to abuse children. She's an enabler too. She's an abuser too. If you saw a crime taking place and you had more than enough opportunities to do something and say something about it, but you did nothing, you are just like the person you are accusing. You're no better than R. Kelly. Because, see, me, personally, if I see a crime taking place and there's a child involved, I'm calling the police right then and there. There were no locks on the doors. And according to her, I've always had a phone. She should have called the police. She, too, is an enabler. She's an enabler, clout-chasing, attention whore. Recently, she just stated on Instagram, Twitter, wherever I saw it, I don't remember, but she stated that it depends on R. Kelly's fans. What depends on his fans? Because If you are a real victim, it doesn't matter what his fans say. You want to just tell your story, right? That's all you want to do. You just want to tell your story. And as far as her being in R. Kelly's indictment, her dad did that. She was still with R. Kelly. Her daddy pressed charges on R. Kelly. Y'all ain't figured that out yet? Her daddy put Azriel in that indictment against R. Kelly, and she later jumped on board. And I really wish that people would stop saying what happens in other countries when grown men marry and impregnate underage girls. This is America. If you do that, it's against the law. Period. Now, I'm not going to excuse the fact that it has been happening for years. Some teenage girls get pregnant by older men. It happens. And it has been happening for years. But at the end of the day, that's illegal. We're not in another country. We're not in way back in the days. It's illegal. And if a parent doesn't do anything about it, that's child abuse. These parents put their children in a position where they are now claiming that they were abused. That's child abuse. They should be charged just as well as R. Kelly. They should be sitting in a cell next to R. Kelly. Where were the Clarys before the Savages stepped on the scene? Because before the Savages stepped on the scene, nobody was making any noise. Dominique's mom wasn't making any noise, and the Clarys, they wasn't making any noise either. Azriel has contradicted herself so many times. It's ridiculous. I've been seeing clips of the presidents, the Shabazz documentary. She was still defending R. Kelly in that documentary. She was still being disrespectful to her parents in that documentary. She was sitting right there beside her daddy, disrespecting him down to the documentary. These people exploited their children for financial gain. Azriel Clary ain't no better. She exploited her daughter all over the media. And she went on a press run. And she threw her on growing up hip-hop. We ain't never seen that child. She ain't had no business on growing up hip-hop. According to Azriel Clary, they was at the household time. How did she grow up hip-hop? Them people ain't never been to not one show with R. Kelly. We ain't seen them kids in not one photo or video with R. Kelly. How did they grow up hip-hop? No award shows, no concerts, no media coverage, no nothing. All I see is a bunch of people chasing a bag by any means necessary. They taking real life victims' stories and mimicking them. Ain't nobody trying to ruin Azriel Clary's reputation. She ruined her own reputation. Everybody that's involved in this scandal is trying to profit off R. Kelly. These people done went on press tours, wrote books, all kind of stuff. Teen Truth all on social media, getting into it with YouTubers. I saw that too. And my thing about that is, they want to paint a picture on social media that they're all about helping victims. And they got plenty of money. And to help these victims, it costs money. And It's coming out of their pocket. It's their personal money coming from their personal accounts, right? And I ran into a video where I seen Team Truth into it with another YouTuber, and now CPS got involved, and now Team Truth looking for donations to help out with flights from city to city for attorneys. And what's that about? Because I thought they had so much money. I just don't understand all the buffoonery that's going on. It don't even take all of that. I mean, people have the right to voice their opinion. And if you disagree, that's on you. But to get personal with people, that's a bit much. And I'm going to tell you another thing that I've heard Azriel Clary say quite often. People are defending a man that like to fuck kids. They don't even know him. They don't even know him. Your daughter don't know all the people that she wants to follow her. Your daughter didn't know anybody when she came out and came down to the social media and said follow her on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. She want 50K followers. She didn't know them people. So why do you think it's any different for R. Kelly? He don't know all of his fans. But because he's the celebrity, people know him. They know him because he's a celebrity. He's R. Kelly. He's the king of R&B. That's kind of how it goes, right? Now, I said all that to say this. You don't even know R. Kelly. You sent your daughter to a stranger. You didn't know Valerie. You didn't know his assistants. You didn't know nobody. But yet, you sent your child off with them. Instead of jumping on social media to defend your daughter about the backlash that she's receiving, because there's nothing you can do about that. It comes with the territory. What he needs to do is get in her ear and have a one-on-one conversation with her about her inappropriate behavior. Because jumping online half naked, jumping in a bubble bath with water naked, and wearing real revealing clothes is not a good look. And y'all know what else? Because I haven't heard anybody speak on this. Everybody that sued R. Kelly and took a cash settlement, they didn't want justice. They wanted the money. Because if they really wanted justice, they would have never took the money. R. Kelly should have been locked up a long time ago when we saw him pissing in that little girl's mouth. But they let him go. And for that, I say this. That's the justice system fault. Because they too, our justice system, enabled the situation too. And they did it for the money. The parents did it for the money. The girls got in it for the fame and the money. Nobody in this R. Kelly scandal hands are clean. At the end of the day, I blame the parents. I totally agree with R. Kelly when he said that. Those parents jeopardized their children's life and well-being for money. I don't see it no other way. Those parents knew about R. Kelly's first trial. They knew about the Aaliyah allegations. They knew about everything. The Savages, the Clarys, Geronda, and Dominique and her mom. Anything that happened after that first trial, no excuse. None whatsoever. Because you knew. So at the end of the day, the fact of the matter is, things didn't go how they expected. And now they out for revenge. It's so obvious. Some people are just born freaks. And Azriel Clary is one of those people. It is what it is. Her parents said it out their own mouth. They not only knew about R. Kelly's history, but they forced their daughter on him. And they tried to sell him some sex toys. They tried to sell R. Kelly dicks and tricks. And it didn't go their way. And now they mad. The Savages was looking for a record deal for Jocelyn. It didn't go their way. And now they mad. Dominique had no talent. She was in it for the money off top. Geronda Pace, in it for the money off top. Everybody was in it for the money. The lawyer that got all those young ladies those settlements, she need to be arrested too. She's an officer of the law. Those girls came to her with a crime, and she fed them a settlement. And they money hungry ass took it because that's all they wanted. The Clarys want to be able to sue R. Kelly in a civil suit if R. Kelly gets sentenced. The Savages as well. Dominique gonna come around too. Everybody is all for Jocelyn right now because everybody think that she's sticking by R. Kelly. Give it some time. She gonna come around and she gonna have a story too. Ain't nobody straight on this channel. Anybody that's involved in this R. Kelly scandal is trash to me. Period.